just gonna spread my feet hip width apart. I'm gonna try and sit down into it as if I'm on a chair. I'm trying to keep my butt over the back of my heel. I'm keeping my shoulders back as much as I can. I'm feeling this in my core, certainly feeling it in my quads, and I'm just trying to just be comfortable and sit, keep my chest up nice and tall. This is not a squat, contrary to popular belief. Lean into it, almost like you're up against a wall, sitting into it. If you have to, wow, that's been 30 seconds already. If you have to, start on a wall and slide down the wall. I'm gonna quickly switch over. I'm gonna do plie squats. My feet are still shoulder width apart. I'm just pointing my toes outward, bending at the knees, and sitting deep down into it. Put your arms out in front of you if you want. Kind of makes you look a little more like a ballerina. I'm gonna bring my foot forward, knee down, arms up, sink nice and low, back up. I'm just keeping my arms right above my head. You'll see I'm a little wobbly. So if you want to just use your arms to help bring you down and then bring your arms up, you can do that too. This is another good one that's good not only for those legs, quads, glutes, core, your balance is affected too. And again, this is really fast, just demonstration for you. I'm going to take some time and do more of this exercise off camera. You should do the same. So I'm going to bring my knee forward, crunch down, release, pull back. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Whatever you do on one side, make sure you do it on both. You're just gonna take your feet, put them close together, bring them as close to the center mass of your core as you can, whatever's comfortable for you, and make butterflies. Up, down, feel that stretch. You can go fast, you can go slow. Just try and push into it, and I recommend keep your back straight, head high, chin up, pulling your core. Start at your belly button and try and tense up those muscles and feel that tightening, okay? And just try and bring your knees as low as you can, as what's comfortable for you. If this becomes too easy and you're just flapping like a bird, tuck your heels closer, okay? I like to cup my hands right around my toes and kind of push my feet as close as I can to my center and really feel a stretch in my inner thigh and pulling, okay? Feels good. Burn feels good. Okay, this is really fast and dirty warm up. Again, do more of this on your own, but let's get back to our skating. Let's go. And welcome back to the Wheels and Whirls Skate Dance Show. For today's lesson, we are gonna be going over how to stop, because it occurs to me that if you're learning all these wonderful skate dance moves with me and you're starting to get the rhythm and the flow and you're moving and grooving, you're gonna need to know how to stop. And as previously mentioned, we don't roll forward and go, ah, because catastrophe awaits when we do that. So I'm gonna talk to you about my favorite 3 types of stopping. There are more, and there's variations on these 3 as well. So we'll go over more of that down the road. I think it's enough to learn 3 to start. So that's what our primary focus is going to be. Stop number 1, and a great one for new beginners, is called the plow stop. Why is this great for beginners? Because you're probably already doing some version of this in the roller rink. Have you ever skated across the roller rink, and as you got close to the wall and said, I need to stop, put your legs wide and your hands out in front of you and went, ah, until you stopped? Yeah, that's almost a plow stop, so good for you. You're almost there. Okay, the difference is, instead of just leaving our feet in this position and praying holy mercy as we go forward and put our hands in front of us to stop, we're gonna use our quads, our thighs to push ourselves to a stop. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you've ever been skiing, and even if you haven't, I'm not a big skier, you'll know what this looks like. When you bring your legs out a little bit and you're pushing on this outer thigh muscle and putting the weight on your outside wheels, especially in your heel area, and pointing your toes a little bit toward each other, that's gonna slow your momentum and bring you to a stop. So I'm gonna try and show that to you up close here. I'm bringing my feet out and wide, and I'm pushing with my outside wheels, especially my heel area, and bringing my toes forward. And it's these thigh strong muscles in here that is pushing and causing me to come to a stop. So I'm gonna demonstrate that again. Now you can go real wide with this, or you can try and keep your feet a little closer together. I recommend closer together. If you're in a rink with other people, you don't want your feet way out here. Plus, guess what? You're still going really fast because you're just rolling way out here. You need to bring your feet closer together and push really hard on those outside muscles, okay? Stop number 2 happens to be my personal favorite. Stop number 2 is called a T-stop. What is a T-stop? Well, it looks like when you have one foot in front of the other and the other foot makes a T as you drag it behind the first. So one foot is in front of another, the other one forms that T and it's getting dragged. Now, I've seen this done a couple of different ways. Some people do a scoop. What they do is they lean their feet back on these outer wheels and scoop their foot forward to meet the other one. I find that really cumbersome, to be honest with you, and it doesn't feel natural or like I'm gonna stop. Now, keep in mind, we've always gotta have our knees bent a little bit so we have stability, but even still, this feels very awkward to me. So the way that I have learned to do this is by pushing really hard with my foot as flat toward the ground as I can. Sometimes it'll scoop up like I was showing you. Another way it kind of is, it will dip in. Either way, it doesn't matter as long as you're coming to a stop and you're not wiping out. So let's look at the T-stop in action, shall we? Okay, I'm skating along and then I'm dragging my foot behind me to come to a stop. I'm skating along, dragging my foot behind me to come to a stop. That is your T-stop. Now that's a great one to learn. In addition to the plow, you might even find it easier than the plow. I certainly do. Again, it's just dragging your foot to meet the other one. Now you don't want to get your wheels all caught up in each other. You're gonna wipe out. So just be really careful with that. They don't even have to come completely together to stop. Just that friction of that foot dragging behind you, that's gonna slow you down. Okay, so that's the T-stop. I guess this is a great time to make a notable stop point. Is that a thing? Notable stop point. Okay, so I said I was gonna tell you about 3 ways of stopping, and we've covered plow stop and T-stop. I'm gonna get to the third in a second, but I should note that some people use their toe stop like a T-stop. So what do I mean by that? They're skating along and they drag the other foot behind them on their toe, as long as you have toe stops still on your skates. I think you'll recall in an earlier training video, I talked about leave your toe stops on until you're very comfortable without them. So if you're not comfortable plow, if you're not comfortable T, you might try the toe stop method. Personally, I find this even more difficult, and it feels a little goofy in my opinion. It's a little wobbly. I mean, one advantage is it makes a lot less noise, so that's cool. You can kind of stay upright a little bit better too. So if you prefer that, that's accepted too. Again, I think it takes longer to come to a stop doing that, especially if you're going really fast. But try it out, see what works for you. And it's time for the third stop of the segment. and that's called your transition stop. What is a transition? A transition is when you're skating in one direction, you turn yourself around and you continue skating in the opposite direction. I'm talking about skating backwards. So I'm skating forwards, I'm gonna turn myself around, and I'm gonna keep skating backwards. Not in here, don't have enough space. But that is what is a transition. So I'm gonna go from left to right, which is your right to left, and show you a transition in action, and then we can add a stop to that. So to transition, for anybody who's a new skater, you know what, scratch, back to center, back to one. Anybody do any acting? All right. Transition moves, I'm gonna show it to you kind of like choreographing steps here. And then the more you do it and practice it, the less mechanical and robotic it's going to seem, and it's gonna come naturally. You can use either your left foot or your right foot, whatever's more comfortable to you. But what it looks like is you're gonna take whichever foot you choose. I'm right-handed, I'm gonna choose my right foot. You're going to lift, turn, and then you're gonna quickly step and turn with the opposite foot. This is a great thing just to practice. Just 1, 2, okay? 1, 2, until you get really comfortable with that idea, moving your body, turning your head. And then you wanna start to do it while rolling a little bit, because it's gonna feel kind of unnatural, but you're gonna wanna practice that and roll, okay? And again, I'm trying to do with both feet just to show you. And what's gonna happen naturally over time, instead of this very robotic stepping, turn, you're gonna start to lift your back heels, and you're gonna be pivoting rather than stepping. And that's just a move that's gonna come easier the more you practice. So if you lift your back wheels off the ground, you can see it's a lot easier to roll my foot around and do different things rather than this clunky stepping move that a lot of new skaters do. Nothing wrong with that. The more you practice, the more smooth this is gonna get for you, and you're gonna pivot on your wheels instead of clunking, okay? So I'm gonna just skate across this floor. I'm gonna show you a transition, and then I'm gonna add a stop. Believe it or not, I'm gonna allow you to use your toe stops now, because when you're skating backwards and you push the pressure forward, because your body's momentum is going this way, you're not gonna face plant. Yay! Okay, this is what that looks like. Here we go. Skating, I'm transitioning, woo, stopping. That was a little clunky, but hopefully you're getting the idea. Skating. Some people actually get to the point where they just kind of jump into a transition instead of like pivoting on their toes. That's fine too, especially if you're a roller derby gal and you want to jump over other skates that are in your way. Learning how to jump with those feet and plant quickly and turn your body is a very useful skill. We're not doing that here today. Don't ask, I'm not doing it. Practice pivoting on your toes. Now that we've got some stops in mind, we can practice some new skill. And the reason I went from plow stop to T-stop to transition is because it's important for you to get comfortable pivoting on your toes, which all I mean by that is either lifting your front wheels off the ground or your rear wheels off the ground and applying pressure just on 1 or 2 wheels and making those smooth turns and transitions, okay? The reason you need to be comfortable with that is because for some of this dancing, we're gonna be lifting either our toes or our heels to get a smooth movement across the floor. And we can't do it if we're constantly stepping and trying to do it that way. It's just not gonna work. Now, in a previous segment, I went over with you, we did like a side to side step like this. That's just to get you comfortable with this movement in dance. They call this kind of grapevine, right? I'm going forward, backward, backward. So crossing over, crossing behind. We're gonna do that with skating to get a skate dance move, but the difference is instead of just lifting your foot and then pulling out the other foot and lifting it, you're gonna like roll back so that it's smooth. Even I need practice with this, so We're gonna do this together. But first, let's just go over the choreographed step. We're gonna start, I'm gonna start on my left, your right, and I'm gonna move to my right, your left. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cross over, behind, come to the end, and do a bump, bump up with our wheels. So what it's going to look like is this. Over, step, behind, step, bump, bump. Over, step, behind, step, bump, bump. Okay? That's it. The more you practice that, the smoother it's gonna get. And ideally, what we'll be doing as we're doing this is rolling back, okay? Or forward, and making this look really smooth. So I need some practice with this too. See if I can't get this figured out. Okay. Forward. Whoop. Here we go. Forward. Behind. Step. Bump. Bump. Forward. Step. Behind. Step. Bump. Bump. Forward. Step. Behind. Step. Bump. Bump. All right. I know I'm looking a little clunky right now, but this again is new for me too. So just take your time with this, feel what works for you, and start getting the hang of lifting feet. Do it exaggerated at first if you need to. Behind, step, boom, boom. And then hopefully, the more we do this, the more it's gonna start getting a little smoother looking and less clickety clackety. But this might take you several days, several weeks, several months, and that's okay. Anything that you try that's new and challenging for you, it's okay if you're not great at it at first. It's okay if you're not great at it for a while. Do you love it? Are you getting some benefit out of it? Do you feel better? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel strong? Are you excited? Do you just feel like, hey, I'm putting myself out of my element? Good for you. Don't give up, keep going. So the name of the game, practice, practice, practice. All right, I'm gonna play Windy by the association. All right, here we go. Let's just practice some of the things we've learned. I'm gonna just switch it up a little. Everyone knows it's windy. Let's see if we can do that new step. Ready? Yeah, stormy. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm rolling. Above the clouds. Try to keep your head up. Maybe we'll practice some transitions and some stops. Did you see that? Even I, after all these years, get my feet tangled in each other. So that's okay. Got your safety gear on, I hope? I hope so. Okay, I'm gonna turn that into a spin. Knows it's windy. Don't worry if you feel really silly practicing all these skills and it doesn't look anything like cool skate dancing yet. Mine certainly doesn't. But the more goofy, silly things I do, the better I'm gonna get. I promise. You will too. And if you much about what people think, maybe this isn't the right program for you. I'm a big believer in not taking myself too seriously and definitely not giving a lot about what others think of me and how I look. And I think that makes me pretty fun and fabulous. All right, that's gonna do it for today. I hope that you learned a lot. I gotta stop this music. There we go. I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you had some fun. I hope you're gonna take away some new skills with you today that you need to practice. Plow stop, push with the heels, okay? T-stop, dragging your foot behind you. That was not a very good example, but hopefully you remember from earlier, T-stopping, okay? And transition, spin around, point your toes up, come to a stop. Okay, you also now have the equivalent of a grapevine for skating. You're gonna do your overs, your unders, add a little bump bump to it, overs, unders, add a little bump bump. Try to roll. Put your pressure on 2 toes in the front or 2 heels in the back when you feel comfortable doing so, and it's gonna start to get a little smoother. So take all of that for what it is. Go do your best and be awesome, and I will see you later.
Rolling wild through the midnight tower, dancing cat with electric power. Can't hold this spirit down, skating king, this restless town.
Next time on Wheels and Whirls Skate Dance Show, I'm gonna be going over, I call them watermelons. I'm not sure what else the skating community calls them, but it's actually really great technique to use when you're learning how to plow stop. And basically what it looks like, I think I sound like a cartoon character a lot of the time. I think I missed my calling. Okay, anyways, you're gonna push out, bring your feet out, and then bring them back in. So it's gonna be kind of like a circle. Out, in, out, in. Okay, I'm gonna do it in reverse. I actually pick up a lot of speed going in reverse. But that fluidity that you practice will help you with getting comfortable with a plow stop. It's also gonna get you comfortable with the idea of crossovers, which is something else that we're gonna have to practice. You've been doing like a grapevine dance crossover technique, but if you skate around the rink, you'll see to maintain speed around corners that a lot of skaters do this move. This is called a crossover. See, I'm already gaining a ton of speed, so I'm gonna slow myself down. But that allows you to just keep that fluid motion around the corners, not to slow down. Plus it looks really cool. So I want you to practice. I'm gonna call it the watermelon again. You can call it circles. You're just gonna start, go out, in, okay? You'll never see me even lift my feet off the floor. Just doing this motion, you could go all the way around the roller rink and never have to lift your feet off the floor. That's how powerful this is. You can do smaller circles. Whew. I find those a little bit more challenging than the larger circles. You can do it backwards, okay? But that's going to be next time on Wheels and Whirls Skate Dance Show. So hope to see you then. Bye.